Namaste. I'm Dr. Robert, and today on 5-ish Minutes with Dr. Robert, my subject is the transition from summer into autumn. Now, I'm going to be speaking about this as happens in the temperate zone of the world. In places in the tropics, like most of India, there aren't really 4 seasons. They're more like 3 main seasons and 3 shoulder or intermediate seasons. Whereas in the temperate zone, there are actually 4 seasons. So I'm going to be speaking about the temperate zone. And in the temperate zone, the 4 seasons are, we have the winter when kapha accumulates. We have the spring when kapha creates problems if it is going to, and pitta starts to accumulate. And then we have the summer. And during the summer, pitta is predominant because that's the hottest time of year. But also because it's hot, the body starts to become a little drier. So dryness, of course, increases Vata. So during the summer, Vata accumulates while Pitta is predominant. And once fall or autumn begins, Vata becomes predominant because dryness has been accumulating, and there is now a transition between the warmth of summer and the coolness of fall. So we're going from warm to cool, and Vata is chiefly cool. So Vata has been accumulating. Now it's being magnified further by the fact that it is cool. There is a transition, and at the time of any seasonal transition, Ritu Sandishu Vyadayoho Jayante, at the joints of the seasons, that's when diseases begin. Winds tend to pick up in the autumn. And also, the sun is now becoming weaker and weaker and weaker. So there's going to be less light, more wind, more cool. It's already dryness has accumulated in the body. And therefore, that's the time when Vata is going to become predominant. So what you want to do, especially during the transition, once it starts to becoming not quite so warm during the day and starts to becoming cooler at night, and certainly no matter what the temperature may be, once you get past the autumnal equinox, and in the northern hemisphere, that happens in September. That's when the days are finally again being shorter than nights. And of course, in the southern hemisphere, that happens in March instead of September. But it's the same principle. The day starts getting shorter again. And once the day starts to get shorter again, that means, again, Vata is going to start increasing. Eventually Kapha, but first Vata. So what we need to do within the context of any kind of transition is control Vata, but especially control Vata during the transition between summer and autumn, because that's the time when we're going from Pitta into Vata, and Vata is a transition kind of time. So we want to make sure that we have lots of soup, especially made out of root vegetables. We're getting plenty of sleep. We're getting plenty of patterning. So our exercise patterns are, we establish a good sustainable exercise pattern, a good sustainable pattern of rising and going to bed, a good sustainable pattern of working and not working. It's very important to have this kind of structure so that the Vata will know what it's supposed to do. Plenty of oil applied to the body, oil and fat, ghee and other fats, and taken internally according to your capacity to digest it. And warmth. Keep yourself warm so that you're making that transition from a generally having your body open and trying to release heat into the environment, and then having to close down and hold on to heat. That transition is very important. Support your body by maintaining warmth, especially your head and your feet. During this time, God willing, everything will move forward smoothly. This is Dr. Robert wishing everyone a happy transition from summer into autumn.